All right, dude, we are live. What's up, guys? This is Dem Keys, and today we are gonna continue learning about. I want to say we're gonna continue learning about Git stuff. Give me a second. Damn, I had one of those moments where you feel like you need to sneeze, but then the sneeze just stops all of a sudden. Anyways, okay, yeah, I want to say that we're gonna continue learning about Git stuff, but I don't know if we're gonna continue learning about Git or take a small detour. To continue learning about Rust because I'm wondering if I should actually do that. Like, hmm. Because, dude, here's what I realized yesterday after having learned Rust on and off for the past couple of years, I guess. Um, that's not to say that learning Rust is going to take you a couple of years. If you go through all of that study material, the Rust manual, the Rust by example book, and additionally, bonus, if you play the what was it called? Rustlings. If you play the Rustlings game as well, um, these three things are more than enough, at least in my opinion. Being slightly above beginner level, but still very much a beginner in Rust. This is my opinion that these three things are more than enough to get you started in Rust. And no, they are definitely not going to take you a couple of years. The reason it took me a couple of years was because when I first started learning Rust, I wasn't taking it all that seriously. It was like, okay, let me check this out and then I'll come back to it. As in, let me check this out, and then now I've satisfied my curiosity, my interest. After looking into it for a short period of time, now I'll go and do something else, and then later on I'll come back to this. Later on would end up happening, would end up being a couple months later. um, and then I would learn a little more in Rust, and then again just go back to doing what I was doing, and then come back again a couple of months later. That's why it took me a couple of years. It's because I didn't um, start learning Rust and then just go all in. When I actually started going all in was maybe a year ago or 2 years ago, maybe. I want to say a year ago, but let's say, okay, year and a half ago is when I started taking it seriously, and then I actually, you know, started learning it properly. Um, but yeah, I think the path that I should take now is, as I'm learning this, okay, what I'm thinking I'll do here is two things. One, I will continue reading through this book. This is the Rust manual. Additionally, we have the Rust by Examples book, or Rust by Example book. So what I'm thinking to do here is I will, uh, whatever topic I'm currently learning, I will try to find an equivalent of that in Rust by example. Whatever topic I'm learning in the Rust manual, I'll try and find an equivalent of that in Rust by example, because Rust by example doesn't really explain things to you. It gives very short explanations. It does explain things, but it gives incredibly short and concise explanations, and there's a reason behind that. It's because this is not meant to be the Rust manual. This is meant to just give you examples, but rather than just dumping a whole bunch of code, they do give you short explanations. So I feel like Rust by example and Rust manual kind of go hand in hand. So as I'm learning from the Rust manual, I can look at examples in Rust by example. Additionally, in order to just practice the stuff that I've learned, I can I can ask Gemini to generate a couple of what do you call it? Generate a couple of exercises for me, so I can do those exercises and then continue. Though, okay, after I think I need to remember this. After today's stream, I will go back into Gemini CLI real quick and try to continue. I have to see how well I'm going to be able to continue the Rust course thing that I was doing. I have no idea how well it's going to work out because I don't know if the conversation has been saved or not because it's been a couple of months since I touched that conversation. I just kind of got busy doing other stuff. And so I don't think the conversation is going to be there. That being said, I still have the JSON file for the syllabus. What I can tell Gemini is, hey, this is the syllabus. We were having a conversation. Previously, I lost the conversation, and we are currently at so and so chapter. And this part is important because I feel like handing Gemini the syllabus is gonna make it so Gemini knows. Well, okay, handing Gemini the syllabus and telling it that this is where we are right now, it makes it so Gemini knows where, not just where we are, but also what we have studied so far. And so any examples, any exercises that Gemini gives for each of the chapters that we are studying, it's gonna take into account the chapters that we have already, done. So it's not gonna, hopefully it's not gonna include examples or exercises for things that we haven't studied yet. Now, okay, yeah, that's these are two different paths that I could take. One is continuing learning through this, massive thing. Um, it's just, dude, holy shit, there's so much to read. There's so much to read, and I just do not have the how do I say this? I do not have the attention span to stick with this. I feel like if I sit and start reading all of this, I'm gonna end up getting distracted. That was the whole reason why I required the Gemini course, as in why I required to generate the course through Gemini instead of just learning from this manual directly. That was kind of why I had done that. And it's kind of funny because I at the beginning of today's stream, which we are still pretty much at the beginning, but um, at the beginning of the stream, earlier, just a couple minutes ago, I was saying that, yeah, now this is going to be the plan. I'm going to go through this manual, the Rust manual, and the Rust by example thing. But then I'm remembering how useful it was to get Gemini to teach me the Rust concepts that I don't know, rather than me going through this entire manual to learn things. Because this is great. No, the fact that they're going into all of this stuff, it's amazing. It's great. The thing is, I don't think I have the attention span for this. As interesting as all of this stuff is, I don't think I have the attention span for this. Because this page alone, what page are we looking at? We're looking at dangling references. This page is talking about lifetimes, I believe. Yeah. This is explaining lifetimes, and this is a massive page, and it's there's a reason for that. I'm not shitting on it. There's a reason for that. Even I believe what we were learning, like when we were learning through Gemini, certain chapters were divided up into multiple chapters because Gemini felt that in terms of learning, learning it in this specific way would be beneficial, and it was beneficial. So, for example, um, I'm trying to think of which, because there were chapters in which we had to like divide the thing up, and Gemini divided it up. Words, holy shit! Gemini divided it up for me. It started with one section. We covered that entire section. I did an exercise on that. Then we went to the next section, covered that. I did an exercise. Then next section covered that. I did another exercise. And then we were done with the entire chapter and we moved on to the next chapter. Yeah, I think I'll continue learning from there because there was a reason why I had started learning it through Gemini. Um, and it's because of my attention span. I just cannot go through all of the text. That being said, I am remembering what I had realized yesterday, and that is that I could very easily jump, like even in this long text, I could just jump to, different sections. Because my way of learning, as chaotic as it may be, it works for me. And my way of learning is explore a bunch of the language, right? And then start doing projects with it. As I'm doing more and more projects, I will get more comfortable with the language. I'll run into problems and I'll be asking Gemini for, help with, hey, what's the problem here? What's causing this error? What's causing that error? Or I'm just going to be Googling things to understand the errors. That's how I'm going to then learn the language. But the main thing is I'm going to be doing things practically and getting the knowledge in that way. The remaining knowledge that I need, I'm going to be getting it in that way. Um, and that method works much better for me than just reading through this entire manual, which again, the manual is great, the manual is amazing. I'm not shitting on this method of learning. It's just that this method of learning doesn't work for me. That's actually another reason why it took me a couple of years to get to this point. Now that I think about it, it's because of my attention issues. Yeah, yeah. But now that I'm like over those years, I've slowly, phased out C sharp from my daily coding, and now I can confidently say most of my coding is Python and Rust. So anything that I need to get done, I'm most likely going to be doing it in Python or Rust. A good example is yesterday actually. I was looking into QR codes because in the past I've looked into QR codes, and I found that they can do a lot of very interesting things. Um, Give me a second. I just realized something. Okay, yeah. QR codes can do a lot of very interesting things. They're not only for like scanning and giving you some sort of text. Um, they can actually give commands to the phone as well. Commands in the sense, for example, um, you could give a command to the OS to join a Wi-Fi network containing so and so, or that has so and so name, which is also called an SSID, and you can mention what type of encryption this network has. Also mention the password that you want to use, and there's another field called hidden. You can mention whether the network is hidden or not. Right? You can craft the entire. Hold on. Let me go back to. Um, Hold on. Where was I? So this is content pipeline. This is content pipeline. This is content pipeline. That's content pipeline. And then what is this? Some repo O2. Yeah, here. Let's do it here. So you can type it goes something similar to this. Give me a second. I need to yeah. It goes something similar to this. You type Wi-Fi, and then I believe it's T. I think it's T, because you have to mention the encryption. I forgot where the SSID comes. Sorry, give me a second. Let me look up. So it's Wi-Fi. T. T is the authentication type. You can specify WPA, WEP, and stuff like that. Um, then you have the SSID. So let's say we can set it to WPA. Then we specify the SSID, let's say 1234, or let's say, I don't know, Andy, whatever. Just this is an SSID. Um, what else? Password. Password, let's say pass 123, and then hidden, we can say false. This is the entire string that you have to encode into a QR code. And the way that it works is, at least programmatically, you let's say in Rust, I mean, you get QR code. There are QR code generator libraries in various languages. Python has one as well. I've played around with that. Recently being yesterday, I was testing out the Rust one, and that works great. That works amazing. The API is also super simple. There's nothing complicated to set up. Even on the Python side, the one that I'd used, nothing complex to do. You can do complex things, like if you want to have some sort of customization in there, that is available. But just the default black and white QR code with just the information, you can get that done in just like 2 or 3 lines of code. It's amazing. It's great. So this string, you can encode it into a QR code, and once the QR code is produced, at least with modern phones, this is the case because modern phones, they generally have the QR code application. They have the QR code functionality built into the camera application. Back in the day, back in the day, being even like 5+ years ago, um, or let's say between 5 and 10 years ago, phones from that time would need either Google Lens. Google Lens is a sort of assistant that well, Google Lens is part of the Google Assistant that you get on your phone. You can open up Google Assistant and tell it that you need a QR code scanner. It'll then open up Google Lens, and you can point it to the QR code, and it'll show you the value. Now, the interesting thing is when the value being shown is one of these things, I need to test if this does work on older phones or not. But at least on newer phones, and newer phones is again like within the past couple of years, where the QR code scanning functionality is built into the camera app. When you scan the QR code, it pops up a message right on the screen telling you what the text is. Um, if it's just text, if you've done ABC, just ABC text, and you click it, because it's something that's clickable, you can click it. When you click it, if it's just text, it's going to open up in the Notepad application. If it's one of these Wi-Fi command type things, and you click it, then it's gonna send the OS is basically going to execute a command to try and join so and so Wi-Fi connection with so and so password. Additionally, just like this, you have various other things. There's a concept of deep links, which I found really interesting. Like for example, you can embed. Hold on. So I'm gonna create a deep link. Twitch has one as well. How it works is these various platforms, they give you their deep link structure, and when you install the application onto your Android phone, they have a sort of manifest file that tells the OS to register any sort of message that comes in with this kind of format, register it in such a way to route that command to this application. So the QR code is a great example. Let's type in my stream. Okay, give me a second here, or give this thing a second. There. Okay. So this is this would then be encoded into a QR code. And when I scan that QR code, it's gonna it's gonna pop up that option that it usually pops up with, the text. But when I click that, it routes directly to Twitch. So this command gets, or this string gets sent over to Twitch. And it's not just stream. There's a couple of other strings as well that you can do. Twitch has they have a page, a documentation page listing out a lot of their different deep link formats that you can use, or a lot of their deep link endpoints, I guess you should say. I'm not sure. Not endpoint necessarily, because this is happening like on your phone, like only on your phone. You're not really, you know, you're not connecting with the server specifically for the QR code stuff. Um, but yeah, different types of links. From what I remember, looking at the list, give me a second. Oh, damn. This entire system is slowing down. Okay, I was wondering why things were so slow. Oh, wait, I also just remembered that, yeah, wait, this keyboard needs charging. That's another reason why it's being a bit slow. Dude, I love having wireless keyboards and mice. Yeah, it's amazing. It is, wow. It has been a game changer for me, especially because I have multiple computers in front of me, and I'm not close to the computers. I'm at a bit of a distance from them, the way that I've set things up. So not having like a mess of wires all over, it is huge. It has been a huge game changer for me. I mean, it's been a thing for like a couple of years now. My setup has been this way. But yeah, it's been a game changer. It's been great. Now, what was I saying? Oh yeah, I was gonna look at the Twitch thing. I don't remember if I have it open. But yeah, Twitch has a deep links thing. Instagram has a deep links thing. There's a specific format that gets followed. So, oh, I didn't tell you what happens when you scan this. So when the QR code when the QR code is generated and you scan the QR code, it brings up that, the command that has been decoded from the QR code. And when you click it, it immediately opens up the Twitch app and opens up my stream. So you can put in anyone's stream name, anyone's channel name, and encode that into a QR code. And when anyone scans that QR code and clicks the link, it'll open up directly in their Twitch mobile app. Similar to that, you have for Instagram, various other. There's one for Twitter as well. I'm sure that for other, what do you call it, social media platforms. There's something for each of them as well. There's also for Google Maps. So they have a thing called Geo, and then you enter whatever latitude, whatever longitude, and then there's also one for altitude. So what was I saying? Yeah. So I don't remember if it's longitude and latitude or if it's latitude and longitude, but like it's one of the two. And the third one is altitude. I mainly require these two, and I've tried this. I tried encoding the these coordinates of the last location where TwitchCon took place in Rotterdam, um, Netherlands, I believe so. That's what the place is called, right? Rotterdam? I don't know. Hold on. Is it Rotterdam or Rotterdam? Either way, either way. Let's say Rotterdam city in the Netherlands. And I was able to, like, when I scanned that QR code, it brought up a maps thing. Or well, when I scanned it, it brought up that link that was decoded. When I clicked that, it immediately opened it up in Google Maps. So this is a great thing. You can actually send messages to various applications on the phone. You're not limited to, like, just just what the OS can do. You can send in even the geo thing for maps. You can send in deep links um, for like social media applications. You can also, I believe, you can create. I think they are also called deep links. I don't remember. But you can also create links for various payment applications. Like if you have PayPal, for example, you can encode one of those things into a QR code as well. Though I believe QR code, not QR code, PayPal, I believe they have their own QR code generator, so you might want to use that one directly. But yeah, you can do it if you want. It's amazing, dude. Like there's so much stuff that you can do with QR codes. Like it's crazy. You can even you can have a QR code to generate an email. I haven't looked too much into it. I didn't play around with that too much, but you can have a QR code to send an email probably to a specific person. You can have a QR code to call somebody. Maybe it'll dial their phone number in, and then you just have to click the, call button. You can have a QR code for creating contacts in your phone, because these days in phones, in fact, even for the past couple of years, uh, phone contacts haven't been limited to just the phone number. You can add their phone number. Maybe if there's a second phone number, you can add an email address. I think you can also add their address. I don't remember. And maybe a couple of more extra things. So it becomes more like a contact card, rather than just a, one phone number. But yeah, you can do that as well. It's crazy. It is amazing what you can do with QR codes. It is so convenient. I can see this being, and I mean, it's not something new that I'm discovering. People are already using this. Like people have been using this for a long time. It's just one of those things where I looked into it more deeply just yesterday, and that's why I'm able to like appreciate what's going on with it now rather than before. Sorry, zoned out. Okay, yeah. So yo, I've been busy between yesterday and today. I've been busy. Um, and after today's stream, I need to talk to Gemini about setting up that course. I mean, even if Gemini has forgotten about the course, forgotten about that specific conversation, it might actually be a good thing, because LLMs are not very good at remembering very long contexts. They can hold long contexts, sure, but whatever is in between, it often tends to get lost. I don't know how much Gemini has improved in that aspect. I don't know if, if it's gonna be beneficial, if I don't know if it's gonna be any beneficial at all if Gemini is able to remember that old conversation. I'm better off just telling Gemini that, see, this is where we are at. Hold on. I don't remember if I ever looked at, what is this? Okay, I can probably do it here. I can probably do it here. I don't remember if I ever looked at work, work projects. You know what? Yeah, let's do it here. It wasn't in work though. It was in VS Code projects, and I haven't looked into that. No. Okay. All right. Here's what we're gonna do. Okay, we're gonna go to Yahtzee. Come here. VS Code projects, Rust, Gemini Rust Learning, and there. Okay, in here, um, wait, where's the conversation? Where's the, what do you call it? Where did I put, hold on, sorry, I need to check this. Where did I put the, was it, did I have like a Rust learning thing? Maybe I had a Gemini related. No, there's Gemini for this. Okay. Um, there's Rustlings. Um, Gemini, Ractor, so and so, so and so. Okay, under empty directory, do I have it? I think it was a JSON file that I'd stored. I can't remember. And I believe it was Gemini teaches, not Gemini explains as well. Yeah, it's probably not here. Learning deep learning. No, it's not in there. ESP32 Rust. Nope, that's not the one. Ratatouille. No, no. I know for sure I haven't lost the, what do you call it? The syllabus. I have it somewhere. I just can't remember where. Could it be somewhere in here? Because the thing was taking place here. Let's try something real quick, okay? We're gonna come here and do this. And Rust Learning. Dude, I love Zoxide, dude. Holy shit. Okay. And then let's open up Gemini CLI. Now, I don't know what's gonna pop up here, so I'm gonna just switch back. And I did not think about what I was gonna do when I have to get back there. Okay, give me a second. I can just I can just do this. I also didn't refresh the feed. I just realized that I didn't refresh the feed when I started streaming. Okay, do you trust the files in this folder? Trusting a folder allows Gemini CLI to load its local configurations, including custom commands, hooks, MCP servers, agent skills, and settings. These configurations could execute code on your behalf or change the behavior of the CLI. Trust parent folder, trust this. Yeah, we can trust this. Okay, now if I do resume, oh shit, okay, yeah, we do not have it. Let's see if I could maybe, yep, there's nothing. We do not have the thing here. Okay, I'm gonna open up, I'm gonna switch back from the blank screen. Give me a second. Let's stop. I'm gonna give it a couple of seconds just to, okay, we're good. Right. So the conversation is lost. What isn't lost, I'm pretty sure isn't lost, is the syllabus. I just need to find that syllabus, dude. I don't know where I stored it. I cannot remember where I left it. I hope I didn't delete any directories that have that syllabus. But it's crazy, dude. I thought I'd kept the syllabus in this. It doesn't seem to be here though. Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna need to check. I could use FZF and just scan the entire computer. I'll scan it like after the stream because I think the FZF scan can also sometimes take a little. I don't need to do it like I don't need to do it through the terminal. I can open up, what do you call it? I can open up TV and scan through TV. Like for example, I could do TV files, and within this, it's going to show, the files that are there within the directory. So um, if I open up TV files in Scratch stuff, for example, which is the parent directory of the directory that we are currently in, then it's going to show all the files, and I think maybe even the directories. I don't know. Is there? No. Um, I don't remember what this is. Actually, I could look at, what is it? Control T? Yeah. Oh, there, it's DIRs. Okay. A channel to select from directories. All right. That's actually good to know. I never thought about doing that. Yeah, I never thought about using that workflow because I could, for example, have this and then wait. It said there was an issue there. Wait, what was the issue? Command produced no output. Oh, because there's no directories. Okay, there's no directories here. Let's go into, yeah, let's go into Scratch stuff. Open up doors here. It's gonna scan for all the directories, and I could look for Rust proj. Let it do its scanning of the entire what do you call it? The entire Scratch stuff directory, and eventually it's gonna pop up. It's gonna pop the result. Okay, so Rust proj, and then we have the directory here. There. So that's one of the multiple ways that you can use TV. So yeah, I could just use TV and search for the directory. No, the file, the specific file, because I remember it was called. Oh, I think it had syllabus in the name. I believe it had syllabus in the name. Let me try something here. Okay, electronics, NLP syllabus. Okay, there's only 4 here with syllabus. Um, what about not Rust learning, but let's come here and now try uh syllabus. Yeah, no, it's not. It's not that. What was that? Hold up. Okay, all right. Okay. Um, yeah, dude. Um, I forgot where I was. So yeah, I've been looking into QR code stuff. I remember we were talking about QR code stuff, and I've been doing that with Rust. And now I need to continue this conversation once I find that syllabus, dude. I have no idea where I stored that syllabus, and I'm really hoping that I didn't delete it. I can always, generate a new syllabus, I guess. It's going to be a little different from the old one. The prompt is also not going to be the exact same, because the prompt also, makes a, oh shit, the prompt also makes a difference. Give me a second here. Okay, yeah. So, sorry, I forgot what we were chatting about. We were talking about the QR code stuff. We were talking about learning. I was saying that I'm going to continue learning through Gemini instead of going through this entire book, because as much as I would love to go through the entire book, um, if I stick around for all of it, I'm going to get distracted big time. I'm going to get distracted. Um, Another thing I could do is kind of jump between these two, which is something that I was planning on doing. Um, I was like, okay, let me jump between this book and that book, but this book is more for getting examples of what I'm learning in the other book. Do they have, where are they teaching about smart pointers here? Custom types, no. Variable bindings, no. What does freezing do? When data is bound by the same name immutably, it also freezes. Frozen data can't be modified until the immutable binding goes out of scope. Okay, I'll look into this later. For now, I need to find the smart pointer thing. Functions, crates, cargo, modules, attributes, generics, scoping rules, traits. What is this? Wait, I remember the playground thing. What is the Rust playground? Is a way to experiment with Rust code through. Oh, oh, okay, yeah. It gives you a thing to. It gives you a web interface, a web IDE sort of thing to type and run Rust code for a certain period of time before I actually installed the tool chain. I was actually using the web interface. I completely forgot that this thing existed. Okay, standard miscellaneous. Damn, that's crazy. I'm having such a hard time finding where they're using smart pointers. Types, conversions. Okay, wait, let's see where box is used. Boxing errors, box so and so. Standard library types. Where exactly is this? Oh, okay. All right. All values in Rust are stack allocated by default. Values can be boxed, allocated on the heap by creating a box T, a smart pointer to a heap allocated value of type T. Oh, a box is a smart pointer of a heap allocated value to type of a heap allocated to a heap allocated value of type T. Okay. When a box goes out of scope, its destructor is called The inner object is destroyed and the memory on the heap is freed. Boxed values can be dereferenced using the so and so. Okay. All right. Oh, that's it. Wait. You have box, and then I think they go into RC separately. Yeah. Uh, Give me a second. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, dude. I think I'm gonna continue. I need to go find that syllabus. Definitely, I need to go find that syllabus. And if I cannot find it, I'm gonna need to build a new one. Which, yeah, it's kind of a bummer, but the only bad thing about that is that I'll have to um retype the prompt that I'd come up with. So I'm gonna have to come up with the prompt again. But yeah, yeah. Okay, dude. You know what? I think that's gonna be it for today's stream. I have some cooking that I need to do, so I'll end a bit early today, and I'll start the stream tomorrow, hopefully a little earlier than today, and then we'll be able to stream for longer. We need to get back to doing Git stuff. I shouldn't let that, get pushed to the side too much. Um, I think after finding the syllabus and getting started with this Rust thing again, I will also continue the Git stuff. And holy shit, we need to get back to ESP32 things as well. I don't want to push that to the side. I don't want to push the deep learning stuff to the side. Actually, I've also been doing research through Gemini. I was discussing with Gemini what and wait, I need to show you guys this diagram that Gemini drew out for me because I was having a conversation with Gemini about the optimization method that I thought of with my terminal-based VTuber app. Because the idea, just to recap what idea I'd come up with yesterday, the idea was this: you have Tiny Skia. I'm going to use Tiny Skia to draw shapes. Additionally, I'll also use other libraries like maybe Noise RS. I'll use it to draw, various patterns and stuff. I'll use Tiny Skia as well to draw, but this is the important thing. Draw in the form of data. Nothing has been rendered. It's all just in memory and it has been quote unquote drawn, but it hasn't been rendered out. Tiny Skia does give you the ability to render. I don't know what all different forms of rendering it supports, but at the very least, one that it supports is just a long unsigned byte array. So you can get all the pixel values directly into one big buffer. So you essentially can use Tiny Skia to render out your entire design into a pixel buffer, and then you can do whatever you want with that buffer. Now, in my case, what I'm going to do is once I have that pixel buffer, my idea was the initial idea, like without any optimizations that I thought of, the initial idea, dude, my fans are getting very loud. I need to, I'm going to pause the RTMP feed. Okay. All right. Now, what was I saying? So the idea was this, like without any optimizations, the idea was this. I was gonna write a translation layer. So the pixel buffer gets fed into the translation layer. the translation layer, its only responsibility is to basically create a version of that pixel buffer that Ratatouille can understand. And what Ratatouille can understand is basically just these characters. Like you're creating these, you're creating, you're filling a buffer with various characters that the terminal is supposed to display. That's where the translation layer comes in. I need to convert that pixel buffer into characters that can be displayed in the terminal. And then that entire batch of characters can be fed into Ratatouille and it'll be displayed um, via the widget. Sorry, zoned out. So yeah, that's the idea. Another thing that the translation layer is supposed to do is handle the aspect ratio, because terminal cells are rectangular cells, so they follow like a 1:2 aspect ratio kind of thing. Meaning, within one terminal cell, I should be able to fit 2 pixels, and I should be fitting 2 pixels, because if I try to give 1 pixel one terminal cell, then the entire image is going to be skewed. It's going to be elongated. Again, because the terminal cells, they are, you can see it right now in the, well, okay, you can't see it right now, but because I've paused the RTMP feed, but the terminal cells are, actually, you should be able to see at least one character right now somewhere on my screen. The terminal cells are not square; they are all rectangular, and that's why they follow like a 1:2 aspect ratio. Meaning, if I'm trying to display an image, if I'm trying to draw an image or draw pixels, I don't want to assign 1 pixel to one cell, because otherwise it's going to end up being elongated or skewed in some other way. Instead, I want to pack 2 pixels that are, there's 2 pixels, one on top of the other. I need to pack two of those pixels into one character cell or one terminal cell. So this is what the translation layer is supposed to do. It's going to translate that pixel buffer into a terminal cell buffer, and then feed that terminal cell buffer into Ratatouille, and Ratatouille will then handle the rendering. Great, cool. The idea that I had for optimization was, because I know that Ratatouille has its own diffing mechanism, which is how um, it does the rendering efficiently. Basically, what it does is it diffs when you're trying to draw a new frame into Ratatouille or through Ratatouille. It'll diff this frame with the previous frame, and it'll only draw the changes between, or the differences between the two frames, because those are the only cells that have actually changed, right? So this way it creates a sort of efficient workflow. It's not like writing um, full on frames. It's just writing the changes. So I was like, okay, let me try to implement something similar on on my drawing side. Maybe I could benefit from something like that. My idea was this. The first time that I draw a pixel buffer, I'll just pass it through as it is. And then I'll also save that into another buffer called previous buffer, or into another array called previous buffer. So the next time that I'm drawing a new frame, that frame is then going to go into the current pixel buffer. And then I'll have the previous pixel buffer and the current pixel buffer, and I'll diff them together. And whatever the changes are, whatever the differences are between them, I'll only send those differences over to the translation layer. So in the translation layer, I will have one frame, one buffer, which I'm constantly manipulating. So the very first time that I draw a frame, it's going to draw the entire frame, right? So now we have that entire, it's going to translate the entire pixel buffer into one entire terminal cell frame. So now I have one entire frame, right? The next time I'm only going to get diffs. I'm only going to get like the differences, the changes between the two pixel buffers. And so those changes will be passed into the translation layer, and the translation layer will only change the specific terminal cells that need to be changed based on the diff. It's not going to rewrite an entire frame. And this buffer, this terminal cell buffer, I'm I'm going to be feeding it in as a reference into the Ratatouille widget. So I'm not even like, constantly passing memory around. I'm not passing like entire copies around. I'm just passing references, meaning I can manipulate this buffer in place and just pass, not even pass, just have it be read. I'll only manipulate like the specific cells that need to be changed, and the rest of the cells can be left unchanged. So that should save some CPU cycles. Um, that being said, I was also looking into resolution, and I tried zooming out in my using the Western terminal, and it seems like the in terms of resolution, I feel like the most that I can get is like 200 something by 100 something. So like let's say close to 300 to close to 300 by close to 200. And even that is like quite zoomed out. Um I don't want it to be like, really high resolution. I'm okay with it being a little blocky here and there, because that'll give it like, that terminal aesthetic. And also to a certain extent, it'll give like a pixel art kind of aesthetic. But that being said, the the tiny Skia image on which I'll be drawing, the tiny Skia canvas on which I'll be doing the actual drawing, before it's rendered, it doesn't need to be that big. It doesn't need to be 1920 by 1080. I can keep it like 400 by 600 or something. It really doesn't need to be that big. Um, and then I can like sample it down, or I can just use the exact resolution that the terminal is using. I'll have to see what that looks like how big or small, or how limited, how cramped the space might get. To be fair, it's mainly my avatar that needs that space. So it's not like I need to, have a really high resolution thing. Of course, the more high res it is, the more freedom of movement I'll have, the more precise movement I'll be able to have within that space. But it doesn't need to be that high res. But yeah, yeah. That's what I've been. That's one of the things I've been busy looking into. Oh, I didn't show you the diagram that Gemini had generated for me. Um, it was great. It was an amazing diagram to like conceptualize the workflow. Give me a second here. I'm just gonna refresh this, and then I'm gonna come here. How to scale dynamically. Aspect ratio. Hold on. Oh, okay, yeah, it's in this conversation. This was a very long conversation. In a good way though. Like that was a good thing. Okay. Let's copy this. I have no idea how well this is gonna post, or sorry, paste. How well this is gonna paste, but I'm gonna try. Let's put this into, what did I just do? Okay, save this. Come here. We do not need this anymore. I can just paste it down here. This is the entire, I'm glad that it fits in. Well, it fits for me in my screen, but like for you guys, it's cut off at the bottom. It's just a final border at the bottom that's cut off for you guys. Other than that, this is the entire thing. Oh, actually, no, sorry. Okay, it is cut off. Never mind. It is cut off. The top part was cut off. So the way that the workflow works, um, hold on. Yeah. So the way that the workflow works is we have the tiny Skia frame buffer. This is the pixel buffer that's been generated. We then diff it with the previous pixel buffer that was created, that was rendered, and then we pass the only the changes over to we pass the changes over to the translation layer. Okay, in the translation layer, of course, we have the actual translation going on, right? But the result of that gets written to this persistent vector. I guess that's a good term to use there because I kept trying to think of a term to use, um, because this is a buffer that we are not really resetting. We are not changing. We are not passing it, or we are not like making an entire copy of it. We are directly reading from this buffer. This buffer is being manipulated each time that the translation layer is written. So I guess I can initialize this buffer to like default values, right? I can even create um, an empty previous pixel buffer, just so you know we have like from the very beginning there's diffing happening. But yeah, I don't know if I'm really gonna need to even diff them. Like I don't know if that bit of optimization that I'm doing is really going to be that beneficial. I'll find out though. I'll find out. So actually, I think it will be beneficial because think about it. Iterating over the entire pixel buffer array and then manipulating every single one of these cells versus only diffing that only getting the changes from the pixel buffer array and manipulating specific cells in this persistent buffer. I feel like the latter is going to be more performance efficient, a lot more, and actually it'll become a lot more efficient performance wise as I increase the resolution. That is something I didn't take into account, so I definitely should stick with the diffing idea. But Gemini did mention something, or a decent idea, I should say. Don't apply the optimization from the very beginning. Apply first do it bare bones. First do it vanilla. Just like draw the pixel buffer, pass the entire pixel buffer to the translation layer, translate the entire pixel buffer into the entire translation into the entire translated terminal cell buffer or frame, and since you're passing a reference to that entire cell anyways, so Ratatouille is going to then read that entire frame, diff it with the previous frame that it has in its memory, and it'll only write those changes to the terminal. Um, yeah, I feel like this is going to be beneficial to allow me to have a high res setup. So the more I zoom out in the terminal, the higher the resolution becomes. I don't know if I should do that right now, because if I do it right now, then it's going to slow things down. How can I do this? Um, okay, I can do something real quick. Okay, I will open up a new instance of WesTerm, and I'm going to capture that. Okay, Rusty Rain. Hold on. Okay, so let's add a source here. I can delete the source later on. This is supposed to be a screen capture. What is it, from Pipewire? Wait, I'm doing a Pipewire screen capture? Oh yeah, no, I think this system is Wayland, not X Composite. I just realized that I don't know what it's going to end up capturing. So I'm going to stop the feed and yeah, application window. I don't know which specific one it's capturing. Oh, it's the right one. Okay. All right. Um, hold on. Right. So now in this, I'm gonna start the matrix rain. So you guys can see the matrix rain is happening now. Okay. I'm zooming out now. Each time I zoom out, it's gonna like restart the matrix rain. But yeah, each time I zoom out now, you can see. And I don't know if it's just like placebo that makes me think that the rain is slowing down as as things get faster. Because the thing is, you can also see faster matrix rain, faster droplets, let's call it that. You can also see faster droplets falling. I guess it's one of those things of like the illusion of the rain. It works great when you're like zoomed in, but then as you start zooming out, depending on the algorithm that's being used, the illusion it kind of changes a bit. And I guess it just looks a little different. Um, but at the same time, I don't know if maybe it's the fact that there's more cells that are being updated now. I don't know if that's the case because I don't think this um I don't think Rusty Rain is using Ratatouille. It's using Crossterm for sure. I don't know if it's using Ratatouille though. Um yeah, I don't know if it's using Ratatouille. Either way, this is an example of what it looks like when you zoom out. And what I want to do is something along these lines, like something similar to this. Now, okay, now I'm actually seeing lag here. To be fair, Rusty Rain, I shouldn't push this too much. To be fair, Rusty Rain is doing a lot of calculations in order to, make the matrix rain happen. There's a certain amount of calculation that's being done, and I'm sure the creator has applied optimizations as well. But like, I don't think what I'm doing is going to be as heavy as what's going on here. To be fair, I could be wrong. I could be completely wrong, and maybe what I'm doing might end up being way heavier than this. But yeah, because of all of this, I'm thinking that maybe my diffing mechanism, my diffing optimization is going to be helpful because we are only going to be in the translation layer in the persistent buffer, um, which is going to be fed into the Ratatouille widget. In that buffer, we are only, or I should say, which is going to be referenced in the Ratatouille widget, which is going to be read by the Ratatouille widget. In that buffer, I'm only going to be manipulating specific cells. I'm not going to be redrawing the entire buffer each time. I'm pretty sure if I was redrawing the entire buffer each time, things would definitely slow down. But here I have this luxury that I'm able to reference specific cells and only change the cells that have actually changed. So that should save us some CPU cycles because I need to squeeze out as much power as I can out of this because I'm keeping everything single threaded. I'm not introducing multi-threading into this. I still haven't touched the audio reactive part of things. I have no idea how I'm going to be setting that up, but I haven't touched that at all. But yeah, yeah. Okay, dude, I need to go cook. I forgot that I was supposed to go cook. Yeah, I'm gonna end the stream here. That's gonna be it for today's stream. I'll try to stream again. Well, I'm going to stream tomorrow. I'm not gonna try to stream. I'll try to start the stream earlier tomorrow so we can stream for a little longer. And today I have a couple of these things to to look into and, finish off. Okay, exit this, and there. All right, so that's going to be it for today's stream. I hope you guys have a nice day, and I'll see you all next time. Peace.